Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Entrepreneur Journey Chats. I started this because I wanted to give back to our LinkedIn followership all the people that we're interviewing that have got great insights, tips, golden nuggets about their successful journey to either running their own business or working alongside a big organization. And I'm absolutely delighted today to have my guest as Simon Haigh. Hi, Simon.
Hi, how are you? It's great to see you.
I'm great to see you over in Ireland, I believe you are, yes?
That's right, Dublin, Ireland, yeah.
Fantastic. I love it. It's a great city, and I've had a good few jars of Guinness when I was over there, as always. Being the typical tourist, as well as liking, a jar now and again. So, and we were talking just before we recorded that your surname has the whiskey connotation to it, but there's some good whiskies in Ireland as well.
That's right. That's Jameson's and the rest. So yes, a great place.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Anyway, let me tell you about Simon. Simon started out very incredible as a tri-qualified commercial lawyer in England, Wales, Australia, and Ireland. He's an entrepreneur, has built and sold out of technology, luxury items, and travel companies. He has also been a C-suite executive across different industries and 4 continents over 26 years. Wow. The last 7 years, though, his Ireland, UK, and Australia-based company, GCM Advisory, and operating as simonhaigh.com. Simon's helped organizations and leaders unlock, build, and sustain business, leadership, brand, and mindset growth through his coaching, consulting, training, publications, speaking, and e-learning programs. A lot of different angles covered there for whoever suits which. Simon's work and 2 of his books, which we'll come to those later, are endorsed by the world #1 leadership thinker, Marshall Goldsmith, where he's an associate member of the Marshall Goldsmith Stakeholder Centered Coaching Organization. That's huge credibility in itself, Simon.
Thanks.
Simon's clients include high-performing leaders, companies, business schools, professional organizations, and government bodies globally. And he calls himself, which I love, the growth strategist. So again, welcome.
Thank you.
It's lovely to chat because I know you interviewed me for one of your chats, and I'm honored to have you on our call today. So I'm going to get straight into some of these questions because I really believe you've got some real insights to this. So the art of personal leadership is all about what's unique to you and your winning success formula, if you like, to your success. So if you can share 3 insights that you found have really been part of your growth journey, that would be great.
Yeah, so and thanks for the introduction. So yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of experiences in a lot of places, and so what I've picked up apply to me personally, but also underpin the work that I do as a coach and consultant. So I think the first thing would be information and knowledge enhance your power. Okay. And I mean ethical, good power, okay? And they're really important to underpin your vision, the way you communicate, the way you reinforce your vision for yourself and for others. And what I mean by information and knowledge, there are really 3 types of information. And a lot of us don't think of it in these terms. There are resources information. There's resources power. So resources power includes the technology at our disposal, the books that we have, the tools that we have to excel as business leaders. Then there's personal organizational power. What place are you in an organization, or how do you interact with others? Then there's informational power. What information do you have at your disposal? How much information do you glean? How much do you read? And then finally, shared history power. How much networking do you do? So I like to break it down to those 4 areas. So information and knowledge enhance your power would be the first one. The second one, for me, the most important, is resilience. And we've spoken about this. Yeah. Resilience is so important. A lot of people don't even know what it is. For me, resilience is the capacity to cope with life. And for me, there are really 3 types. There's self-resilience. So things like self-awareness, situational awareness, the things you write about, anxiety, dealing with ambiguity. Then there's societal resilience, how we network. And then there's life resilience, how we deal with conflict and boundaries, etc. So resilience is so important. And, resilience is something we're born with, but we lose as we go through childhood.
Yes.
So we have to relearn that. And then thirdly, for me, and you're very much you really live and breathe this, is having a positive focus. And for me, being positive means, we are what we think. So if we think negative thoughts, we are negative. And also we are who we associate with. And then the other part of that is the focus. There are so many distractions. There's so much low-grade noise from social media. So we have to spend time away from all that. So they would be the three things: information, knowledge, resilience, and positive focus.
Wonderful. Very, very useful. And I like the way you've broken them down, and put them into segments. Then we can assimilate those that way. Brilliant. The other thing I also think, I believe successful people, with all the experience I've had working with people, really do think differently. And I believe they do some things differently than the norm of people. Now, we're all normal people, but there's some strategies, as you well know, that from the thinking and the doing become part of our DNA, become part of our value system. So what would you say have been your 2 or 3 values that helped you along your journey?
Yeah, this one is huge for me. So I guess the first one is I've always asked questions, right? My wife always said that when we first met, I was asking a lot of questions. So I've always through my career asked questions, and I've tried my hardest to listen. So the first one is question as much as you can and listen. And Tony Robbins talks about, successful people ask better questions to get better answers. It's so true. So the more open and authentic you are in your questioning, the more likely you are to get the answers. A lot of people think, why am I not getting the answers? It's because they're not asking the right questions. So questioning and listening would be the first one. And the second one, equally important, would be around, I've always collaborated. And again, people say, Simon, why do you collaborate so much? Why don't you do it for yourself? You know this stuff. For me, if you collaborate, you innovate. You have to collaborate to truly innovate. You need confidence to do that. So, and that's about relationship building. So, how do you provide value for others? It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about you and others. The flip side of that, though, is you do need to have an awareness around setting boundaries. You do need to set boundaries. So I now have, I'm getting older now, so I now have a 3-step process when I collaborate. I need to trust somebody, I need to like them, and I need to respect. There needs to be all 3 things. I made mistakes in the past, and I just followed my head and not my gut. So that they would be the 2: question and listening, and collaborate.
Wonderful. And I like your 3, trust, like, respect. That's a really good thing to measure our collaboration. I mean, we're collaborating here, and you started these off, and they're collaborating, and they're helping so many people, and we've all got some great connections because of it, but we're also giving the value, as you said, out. Yes.
One thing I would add as well, and it comes from 12-step programs, and it's about, again, it's 3 words. Well, it's willingness, open-mindedness, and honesty. And above all else, honesty. So you need to be willing, you need to be open-minded, but you also need to be honest. And that doesn't mean fall over, surrender honest. Sometimes that means saying no. So you need to be brutally honest with yourself and others. So I just wanted to add those 3.
You can always add more. As much as we can get in this chat is fantastic. So the next thing I think is very important. I'm very passionate about what I call the circle of genius, a peer group, if you will. People that are in your circle of influence, people who, like you've talked about, collaborate, people who can add value to your life and you add value to yours. Now, I know we obviously have never worked together, but we know common people and we know common traits that successful people have. So you interviewed me. What would you say were 2 of the sort of traits that I have or qualities I can bring to the table?
So already I could tell very early on the way you were communicating, and you were sending me voice messages on LinkedIn, so that to me sends a message. I'm reasonably good at picking up empathy signals. So that sends a message to me that you care and that you're trying, right? And that you're not operating from the shallow and quick win. So I pick up that positive, energetic communication style that you have. It's a wonderful thing. It's very positive, probably regardless sometimes of how you're feeling inside. That's the way you portray, because, and I try and do the same. If you portray that externally, the chances are it is going to come back internally. So, and you genuinely, I can see this, you live and breathe, that you help others become the best version of themselves. Because again, that comes back to you. So that's the first one. And the second one then is back to the book you wrote a while ago, and I know there's a new version, The S Word, the whole area of stress, anxiety. everybody suffers with it, everybody to a greater or lesser degree. And it's about how you deal with ambiguity. Life is uncertain. And I love the way that you've taken that as an area to demystify. A lot of people think this is such a, complicated subject, but if we really break it down, so you've done that, and you really demonstrate that life is uncertain, that social media sometimes can make it too sanitized, and that life is ambiguous. And so if we accept it, then that takes away the stress and it allows us to be resilient. So I love the work you do in that space as well.
Oh, thank you very much for that. That's wonderful. The other thing, I believe that everybody has the potential within them to be great. Everybody does, yeah. But sometimes people don't realize that. And it takes a coach, a mentor, people, things of what you and I do to help them realize that. It really does. But I truly believe everybody's purpose in life should be to lead a happier, more fulfilled life. And I know you agree with that too. What do you think are two arenas or two qualities that people could master even better that will help them to feel happier and feel more fulfilled?
I think the first one is having a sense of humble gratitude. Okay. I mean, nice. I think a lot of people just take life for granted. When you think about it, when you wake up in the morning, life is a miracle, right? And each day, so for me, I actually try and treat each day as an entire lifetime. So when my head hits the pillow, that life is done. Then I become semi-conscious and the next day starts. So it's having that, and it's taken years to practice this, right? I'm not a guru, but it's having that humble gratitude, and also keeping resentment and fear at bay, particularly resentment. Resentment is the main cause of things like addiction and anxiety and war and divorce and all these sort of things. And resentment and fear are the flip side of the same coin, and they're ego driven. We all have ego, but for those of us who allow resentment and fear and anxiety to grow too much, it's because our ego is expanding too much. And we need to deflate the ego and allow this. It's like a seesaw. Ego needs to come down, but self-esteem needs to come up. So it's that humble gratitude and all that goes with that. Then the second thing then is mindset. Okay. Everybody talks about mindset, and it's really important to have a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. But what a lot of people seem to forget is that also, and I like the seesaw analogy, that needs to be balanced. So you need to have a mindset for growth, but you also need to sustain that mindset. And a good friend of mine, Justin Caffrey, talks about this a lot, that you need to have the mindset for growth, but you need to sustain that mindset with things like meditation, hygiene, good eating, exercise, all of those things. So it's having the mindset for growth, but sustain it through mindfulness.
Wonderful. I love those two things. Yes. And those things will definitely help people to master a lot of their own challenges way more. We know that. And talking of a growth mindset, to mention that, it comes on to, professional people either listen to podcasts, read books, they get knowledge. Like you said at the very beginning of our chat, they want to learn more, get more knowledge, et cetera, et cetera. And we all know books and things we've read, one line, one sentence has changed a situation in our lives or helped us or influenced us at that time. So wherever in your life and business journey, what's one book or one podcast you could recommend to somebody that's influenced you?
I thought deeply about this, and there's one book I've just recently read, and it was so powerful. And again, Justin mentioned it to me. It's called Into the Magic Shop, and it's written by an American neurosurgeon called James Doty. And just very quickly, he came from a broken family in California. His father was an alcoholic, mother was devastated, and by the age of 12, he was destroyed. His psyche was destroyed, and he walked into a magic shop one summer's day as a broken kid, and to his amazement, over 6 weeks, the elderly lady in that shop, he thought she was going to teach him magic. What she really taught him over 6 weeks was the keys to a mindful life.
Wow.
And he's ended up becoming a major neurosurgeon. And those 4 keys are, number one, relax the body to become more present, so then you can honor your highest values. I'm trying to remember the book. And then the second one then is train your brain. So the first one is relax your body. Then the second one is train your brain through mindset and mindfulness. Then the third one, which is the most important and most people skip, is you must open your heart to foster true connection with yourself and others. And then only when you've done that can you truly clarify your intentions and your goal mapping and your life's journey. A lot of people jump the third one and think, I can set my goals. But if you haven't set a true and honest intent, then you're going to struggle. And that really underpins the work I do. It's about helping others grow internally as much as externally, because internal growth is infinite, external growth is finite. So it's had a massive effect on me.
Excellent book, and people listening to this, you know, can always play it back and listen to that. And talking of books, you've written 2 books. I think you've got them there to show us.
I do. I've actually written 3, but one's out of print. But this is the most recent book, How to Be a Better Deal Closer. And there's also an ebook as well, Dealmaking for Corporate Growth. And they're not just about deals and sales. Really, they cover a lot of things we've discussed, the human side of how you use self-awareness, mindfulness, relationship skills, communication skills, really to navigate negotiation in a mindful way.
That's wonderful. I mean, I truly believe we're in the age of consciousness. You know, we're all raising our vibration more, hence we're all connecting and collaborating more. So when this chat goes out, there will be the links to Simon's book so people can go in there, buy it, and obviously learn even more things about ourselves or whatever resonates. Simon, we could literally go on and talk for ages and hours. You and I know that on similar paths. Where can they get hold of you? Where's the best place for people to get hold of you if they want to reach out?
My website is simonhaigh.com, which is HAIGH.com. Also social media, predominantly LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, so simonhaigh.com or Simon Haigh on LinkedIn, Twitter as well. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, but mainly Twitter and LinkedIn, the website. An email is simon@simonhaigh.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for your time today. Very grateful. And I know the listeners, when they listen to this, will be either scribbling away or on their tablet or whatever. So we'll keep connected, you and I, because we've already connected now.
We will.
And thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thanks very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.